Currency Pro Part 9 of 10. The number one thing you need to know to avoid currency scams. The number one thing you need to know to avoid currency scams is that it is impossible for a currency to magically revalue upward overnight. Now, if you've made it this far in this course, you're probably thinking, duh. But I promise you, I've seen thousands of people who've been taken in by these scams. They're all a little different, but the way most of them really appeal to people's greed and make them believe they can become overnight millionaires is through a concept called revaluation. Essentially, they believe that the currency will dramatically increase in value overnight because the government will simply decide to change it. But what they don't realize is that a government cannot simply choose the value of their currency any more than the CEO of a company can say, I'd like my stock price to be 1,000 times higher tomorrow. It doesn't work like that. Stock prices and currencies are driven by supply and demand. Now, a currency like the Iraqi dinar that's pegged to the USD at 1,300 to 1 does have that number set by the government. So if they set the number, why can't they change it? Well, they could, but not like people think. They could change their target to whatever they want to. But in order to change the actual value of the currency, they would need to do so by manipulating supply and demand in the open currency markets. They'd have to buy dinar and sell dollars, just like we discussed earlier when talking about how countries maintain their pegs. So if they wanted to increase the value of the dinar a tiny amount to like 1280, they could do that. But people think it's gonna go from less than 1/10 of 1 cent to over $3 overnight. That is physically impossible. They simply do not have nearly enough foreign exchange reserves to make that happen. A currency can change its denomination overnight through a process called demonetization. That's happened many times. In Venezuela, when they had hyperinflation, the amounts of money that it took to buy regular everyday products got so big that the screens on card readers and ATM machines couldn't read them. They had too many digits. So Venezuela had to create a new currency to replace the old one. That's what it means when they say they'll drop the zeros. For example, if they drop 3 zeros, 1,000 of the old currency will be replaced by 1 of the new currency. But what people think that means is you get 1,000 of the new currency for 1,000 of the old currency, but it's worth 1,000 times as much. No. You get 1 of the new currency for 1,000 of the old currency. It's worth 1,000 times as much, but you have 1/1,000th as many. So the value doesn't change. You simply exchange your old currency for your new currency, and then you can read the ATM machines again. If you ever hear anyone talking about a currency revaluing, they have been fooled because they didn't understand this concept. 100% of the times in history, when a currency has seemingly gotten much more valuable overnight, it's because it was demonetized, aka made worthless and replaced with a different one. Currencies cannot go up 1,000x overnight, and you should never listen to anyone who says they can. Supply and demand are the only things that can move the value of a currency. A government can manipulate supply and demand to an extent by raising rates or selling reserves to buy their currency, but it's still all supply and demand. And next, for my final video in this series, which will be 10 of 10, unless you guys tell me I missed something and then I'll make more videos, I'm gonna show you how money is printed, and it's not the way you think. And by the way, this is a 10-part course that's gonna roll out over 5 weeks on YouTube. But if you want access to all 10 parts right now without clicking around YouTube or watching ads, check out the link below. Thanks for watching.